Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to VTP Stage 2 Online Technical Tuesday Coaching Call 176 for the 6th of January 2026. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a good break over the festive period, and I hope you're ready for another eventful year in markets, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we've got coming down the pipe. Great to have you here. Okay, we'll be running the stage two calls throughout the year. I'll be trying to break up bits of it and put it into the sort of socials and the FX Trader Paul, Forex Trader Paul YouTube page as well. So if you can't catch all of the sessions, you can only catch little bits of it there or watch the recordings. Great to be here. Great to be back. Okay, I'm easing myself back into it as well. Okay, so doing these as part of actually also spooling myself back up to pace after a break as well. So we'll see how we get on. As always, you're very welcome here. Just remember that you're always responsible for your own trading decisions. And if you want some help to make 2026 your best trading year, the VTP Trader Accountability Group, okay, that starts again this week. Our first live session is this evening, okay. If you can't make this evening, the sessions are recorded and you can watch and join. And that is a weekly call, part of a small group that basically just variably providing discipline, accountability, and consistency in your trading. If you want to be around better traders and help you develop, then it's the group to join. And you can ping me if you want, or there's a bit.ly code or a QR code there that you can utilize. So this is Swiss franc. Okay, so as I said, Swiss franc has strengthened, and probably the biggest indicator of that is if we look at a great trend from last year, Swiss franc against Japanese yen. That's the stam. All right, that is Swiss strength, Japanese yen weakness. That's what you're looking for. You don't need to make this more complicated than it needs to be. As I said, I say this. I've always said this on VTP Stage 2 is that at the start of every year, I know there will be 3 to 6 good trends throughout the year. Okay, 3 super trends, as I would call them. The thing I don't know here today, I don't know when it's going to come, and I don't know where it's come. You might have a bit of a hint. You might have from doing your analysis every week, you might have a suggestion of which might be strength or weakness. But the reality is, I know there will be 3 to 6 super trends every year, and the sign of a really good long-term swing trader or position trader is being able to sort of identify that, and that doesn't happen. You're just doing your analysis one-off, all right? That comes from you doing it, as I do pretty much every Saturday morning on the weekly charts. Just spend that 90 minutes going through, okay, and doing that every week. That's how you build up your knowledge, you build up your experience, how you start to get a sense of either A, when the markets are shifting, or B, when a trend is starting to go, or when you can see the variably, as I said here, you've had Swiss franc strength all year, excuse me, and Japanese yen weakness. The question is going to be now is that going to change as the Swiss kind of they've cut interest rates and Japan starts to raise them? Is that going to be enough to turn this super tanker? All right, super tankers don't turn on a sixpence. All right, but it is most definitely a case of that's what you're looking for. Okay, and at the start of this year, it must be that's what I cannot be telling people is, well, when you're looking for your plan for the year ahead, just be looking at, well, what do I need to see to identify that there is a strong, let's call it a super trend in place, okay, where it's very clearly the stam. You've got the fundamentals, the technicals, and the sentiment are all in alignment, okay, across all of the across all of the timelines and across the moving averages, and you can follow that, okay, and that's what you're looking to try and do. But that's a great indication of a great trend, a bit like the kind of Aussie we looked at, because if you look at a dollar against Swiss franc, that was, last year, big weekly double top there. Okay. We just looked at the dollar index, didn't we? It topped out in the first month of the year and then it just fell. And that's what we saw once again, dollar weakness, Swiss franc strength. The interesting thing for me is that it's got a bit scrappy and scruffy there, hasn't it? But, I would be saying that's it. If I'm just going to draw in a level here, a kind of a big round number here bear with me 1 second. Got so many bloody different charts on different computers on different platforms and stuff that trying to keep on top of them all is always a bit of a pain in the hoop. But there we go. So That's 80. All right, big round number. My view would be we are pivoting around there at the moment. Okay, there's clearly some. I'd say there's clearly some, some more support there. Okay, around about what 79-ish area. All right, so I'll be looking at that. Some people might be saying, well, actually, Paul, are we not just really sort of seeing? Let me actually no, let me not draw. Let me draw it in on the actual chart itself. Are we not sort of seeing? Not massively. Are we getting a descending triangle building up there? All right, that's what might be we might want to have a little look at. Just keep an eye on. Just look at see how that particularly is playing out in dollar Swiss. Okay, is that kind of pop there, which would give us that indication of increased dollar weakness, or does it find a base and then hammer its way up to the 50? All right, that's what we're watching. See how does the 20 start to act as if the 20 starts acting as resistance, well then we know we're tightening up. All right, we're getting tight on there. So that's the dollar against the Swiss franc. Euro against Swiss franc. The kind of the kind of easy money was over the last sort of 5 6 years of just basically selling euro, buying Swiss franc. Look at that on that monthly chart there. Once again, people might be saying, "Well, Paul, if you're looking at this on a monthly basis, are you not building a bit of a sort of big monthly descending triangle there on the euro Swiss?" And yeah, it could be said there. There's every time it's popped down to beneath 192, it doesn't seem to like it, does it? I suspect. I thought well, that might be a level of, but that level of what was that level there in December 23? Yeah, we've not been able to close beneath that. That closed there. What was that? Let's just have a look here. Bang, what was that? Close 92.83. Have we closed any lower than that? 92. So there you go. Yep, 92.69. 92.69. So there we go. 92.69. This was the kind of the lowest close. All right. So the lowest monthly close. I'll just be keeping an eye on this area. That kind of 92 to 92.70. Maybe we just keep an eye on that. That's hopefully you can see that kind of big picture there is just working its way down there. Right, that's what we look on euro Swiss, and that would give an indication of that euro weakness there, wouldn't it? So that's what we'd be looking at there. Pound Swiss we'll look at in a moment. Yeah, the others, the Comdols will. Yeah, the Comdols, Aussie Swiss is looking a bit mixed, but this from VTP Stage 2 in terms of I don't want to be buying strength v strength. Okay, ideally, unless it's got the dollar because the dollar's such the big gorilla. Generally, Aussie Swiss is 1v2. As a general rule, I don't try to trade 1v2. All right, because I don't want to be buying strength v strength. What's the point in that? No surprise to find like a market going sideways when you're buying strength v strength, or even selling weakness v weakness. I want to be buying strength, selling weakness. That's what we're really looking for. Okay, and what has been weak? Well, euro, dollar, and the Japanese yen. That shouldn't really come as a massive shock.